Welcome back. We are still discussing the hills and valleys in long distance relationship. And I have the able women and gentlemen who are helping me discuss this. As we did introduce ourselves initially, we have here Dennis, who is a counselor, and Rakia, who is a sociologist, and Gifty, public health manager, and Frank is also an accountant. We are still looking at the challenges or the demerit in long distance relationship. Rakia?
Oh, okay. So earlier on, my brother Frank spoke about what is going on between married couples. Sometimes because they are far away, maybe the phone rings and the person is not able to pick it at the right time. The next time you return the call, the question is like, where were you? What were you doing? Why didn't you pick my call? Or all the questions. And I think this brings about insecurity in the other partner. If it's from the woman or the man, it can be from both sides. That they feel insecure, they feel sad because I'm not close to you. You are doing whatever you want and you are just partying around, which might not be so. So I think that is one of the things one of the disadvantages of a long distance relationship.
Okay, all right.
All right, I would like to come in.
All right.
One other serious challenge when it comes to long distance relationship is the fading away of sexual feeling.
Okay.
Yes. Someone might think that, oh, once you don't see yourselves for a while, when you meet, the feeling is there. Yes, but it's not always so.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
Wow. From experience.
When you are way apart, because you also meet other people on daily basis. Yes. So as time goes on, your attention drifts away from your partner. So that sexual feeling, when it comes to a time that you even have to meet, and you meet, it's like you struggle.
It becomes awkward.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So it also doesn't help when it comes to
I think this
especially in the
affirms,
long run.
yeah. I think this affirms what Gifty said earlier. Gifty.
And I think it goes on to there are people who are facing childbirth issues.
Okay.
That is in marriage.
In marriage.
Yeah, okay, all right.
The person wants to give birth.
Yeah.
The person is far away. Now I'm supposed to meet with you and you're supposed to kick into action.
Yeah.
Give me craziness and let's produce babies.
Babies.
And
Beautiful
then you
babies,
get
of
there,
course.
maybe already when I called you didn't pick. You come, I know my man is supposed to give me something.
All right.
And then he's reluctant and I'm like, he doesn't find me attractive anymore.
Okay.
So how come I'm looking all nice? People are complimenting me here and there, and he comes and
He can fire. Yeah, what she means is that you think you are the only person who has ownership of me. Okay, if you do anything, go. Go ahead.
So I think with that it creates a problem.
Yeah.
And it delays childbirth and spacing.
Yeah.
And once that comes in, then frustration, stress, the problems multiply. And there are lots of people who are going through this already. They don't need to add on to it.
All right.
So I think there's more to do if you are in such a relationship. You can do something to spice it up.
Right.
I mean, when you fight, but when you get down to the deal.
Uncle Atwa, I just brought something here. And we never talked about the financial aspect, the financial constraint, especially when it comes to married couples.
Yeah.
You are in Accra, I'm in Sunyani, I'm renting, you are renting. Meaning that we are going to pay double, we are going to feed, everything that we are going to buy.
Double.
We have to
Double
decorate
the place.
everything.
Make
But
it
assuming we are all at
comfortable.
one place in Accra, we rent one place, we buy one set of everything, think we are sorted out. So I think it puts financial constraint
On both
on
partners.
both parties.
Okay.
So I think that's another point.
Okay. Well noted. Yeah, brother.
I'm glad to see long distance relationship. It can be very depressing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get home from work very long day work, and I get to my room and there is nobody to even say good evening.
No.
Sometimes I mean, what is this? I mean, I sit down sometimes with my shoes on. I'm just sitting down, and you'll be forced to just switch to UTV. I mean, you are watching nothing, but you're just sitting down. And sometimes I ask, it looks like my partner is still not with me while I'm working. So it looks like even after marriage, it will still be like that. And I ask myself, is this thing going to forever be like this?
Yeah.
So it could be very depressing. It could be very depressing.
Yeah. It means that for two people to be involved in long distance relationship, it is not easy at all. It is not easy. And my fellow gentlemen, you heard I was starting to say. And our brother also said that it's not always that when you come together that you think I did ever saw another, I mean the love will be rekindled. Sometimes it may be the other way around. So when you come and meet, make sure you do what you are supposed to do. When you meet it with lazy. Of course, if that person, you are not married to that person, of course, that one, you can be arrested by the mother and the father. But if you are married to that person, please, kill your duties as expected. And the church shall say amen.
Amen.
Anyway, you are listening to Prime Testimony Channel, and I'm your host, Axel Brentation. Right now, let us look at certain advantages that people can derive from long distance relationship, if any. Are there any advantages? Okay, Dennis, looks as if you
Okay, in as much as there are challenges, sometimes I mostly want to put myself in a picture, especially for the single ones out there. It's not to worry. I mean, sometimes we are able to cope. I think the first one that personally I get to do, there is freedom to build on career.
Okay.
So you get to do, because sometimes I imagine myself, I do some movements, and I think like if I had a heavily pregnant wife with me, there's no way I could move. I can just take one bag and 3 weeks I'm off. So practically, I mean, it gives me freedom to move, to do some things I would want to do that. On a normal day, the family and kids, you don't just travel out of the house 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you're not back. I mean, so that is one aspect for me.
Okay, all right. Is there any other you want to add?
Yes.
Okay, you can add as much as you can.
Okay, so another aspect of it is that, I mean, you learn to sacrifice. This is the time, especially for the singles, where the love, the sacrifice, and the faithfulness of the relationship is tested.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Because mostly when you are together, right, you realize that, I mean, if you're not careful, it's easy to touch, it's easy to kiss, it's easy to fondle. I mean, lust is so much at play. But when you are distant, and the person is still making efforts to keep the relationship, the person is still making efforts to see you, talking about the marital plans and all that, then you can really test the faithfulness. You wouldn't have any scandal of cheating, no flames of the guy is cheating here and there. You can really test the faithfulness of the relationship.
Any other from our friends?
I'll speak for the married women.
Okay.
I think it reduced the workload. If your husband is not around and you just come back from work, you can decide to cook or not to cook. You don't have anyone to feed, especially if you don't have kids with you. You decide when to wash. You decide when to clean the room. You decide when to do everything. But then when there's another party with you, you are supposed to do everything to satisfy that person. So when you don't even feel like cooking, you are still like, just to prepare the food for the others. So I think it reduced the stress and then the workload on the women.
Right, I'm with you on
Yeah.
that.
Hey, look at the women's fellowship. Okay.
And I have a friend who once said, sometimes the sex is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a day she was saying they broke a whole crate of egg.
Hey.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
The brother one.
Yes.
I see.
From just the excitement. So I think sometimes it adds to excitement. I mean, if you are in a relationship and you don't charm it up and spice it up, sometimes it gets in a rut. And then there's no need, and it's like, oh, hello. Like they're married, oh, hello. Sometimes they don't even call to check up on you. When you stay with someone, you can check on your friend and you see sometimes your partner hasn't even called you in the last minute. But that is when you are living together.
Yeah.
But when the person is not there, every second, hello, what, sorry,
Okay.
what did you, have you eaten, did you eat rice, have you taken your bath, are you hungry? The communication is much more than when we are together. Sometimes the communication reduces. I think it's spices and things.
Okay, yeah, so as most of us are talking about the freedom aspect, in marriage, for instance, I'm married, so
Alright, yeah.
that's why I keep on stressing much more on the marriage side. Yes. Let's say you are married and then you have kids. You have kids. You know how frustrating kids can be sometimes when they are in the house. Sometimes when you close from work, you don't even want to come home early.
Yeah, running away from your
Yes,
kids.
because kids can worry. They can worry. So when your wife and your children are not there, especially the men, yes,
Okay.
you have that laxity to go around doing other stuff. Like, as my brother said, it is easy to upgrade yourself when your family is away. And then you don't see, when you come home, you enter the hall, toy here, this thing here, you don't see those things. Yes. So the room is in order. As soon as they come, things mess up.
So you want to live a single life whilst married?
That's one of the.
Yeah, and I'm sure the size of the Father's Day cake and the Mother's Day cake is determined by that tension that the children receive, maybe among other factors. Yeah. Is there any other point anybody want to add as to what we can call an advantage, which is for people that are living apart?
Yes, when it comes to your relationship with God, yes, that is why Paul said he wish we all be like him. When you are into ministry and then you combine it with marriage, it's not easy. It's not easy. So when you are married and then your partner is not with you, it makes it quite easier for you to do things more than when they are all around. Because when it comes to traveling, you only have to pick up your phone and call your wife and tell her, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to this place and that place. But when you are together and then the kids, it may be happening that one of your child is not feeling well. You can't just leave the child home and go. Yes, so when they are not with you, it also helps you to concentrate much more on your ministry.
All right. Talking about ministry, let me pick you here. So effective sex, is it good for ministry or it's not good?
I like the qualification, effective sex.
Yes, it's good. Yeah. So what's your view about the point that he raised that if maybe the kids are not around, at least you can be more effective in ministry because you have a lot of things doing, as compared to your wife being with you, having good and effective sex and doing ministry at the same time?
Plato, I think that sometimes when the family is away and you're a minister of God, it helps. It helps sometimes. But on a larger extent too, it can be very dangerous. Because there are some things that, for instance, there are certain churches that when you're in the mission house alone as a minister of God, it's very dangerous. Very dangerous. In as much as you would want to protect yourself, in as much as you can't really filter the people that comes to the mission house.
Yeah, and I think it's about time certain structures are put in place so that those who stay in their home and eat from their home, they stay home, and so that they allow the pastor to have sex. Because without good sex, how can you preach? You see, a lot of Christians pretend about this thing, and I think we have to kill this here.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, the two are suffering.
Yes.
I want you to
Only one is-
okay.
only one is-
You have agreed that good sex is good for ministry. So I want us to convince the audience whether it is good or not. Because the people that is spreading, they all have sex. The married ones. Why should we? And we are doing, you see, being a teacher, it's a ministry. Being a nurse, it's a ministry. So what other ministry are we talking about? The people who are superintendent over, I mean, they all look into me, but say I care because I'm telling you, and a lot of pastors' wives are crying with him.
I want
Yes,
to
they-
talk
okay.
about something else.
Yes, then
You're
once you
asking
can share.
effective sex and what about American?
Okay, yeah.
Our fathers do not get married
Yes.
and they administer to us better.
Okay.
What of that one?
Yeah. Anyway, I almost became a Roman father myself. but
What of that one? I mean, at the end of the day, whatever you choose, you stick to it and then you make it work for you. If you choose to have sex, stick to it, do it well. Don't leave room for any lesser thing. Like I said, you are not 100%. No one is. There's no perfection. You bring your 50, someone brings 50, that's perfection. That's how I see it. The moment you start bringing more than 50, today I was discussing this with Rakia. I told her, Rakia, if you're in a relationship and someone is giving you 70 and you are bringing 30, know that the person will learn to increase in the 70 and eventually get to a 90 where that is good enough, excellent, and might not need your 10 again. So always make sure you bring your 50, the person brings the 50, and you make it work.
even if it's not 50-50, at least
60-40
60-40
is
or
okay.
something, okay.
But once it starts getting to 90-10, then the person thinks I'm dependent on my own. I don't need you.
Yeah, I don't know whether the 50-50 is about money, because some people give a lot of money, others also bring in some kind of service. When quantified into money, it's like a lady that stays in the house and cooks and takes care of the children. If they should pay the ladies the way the thing will cost,
And that is 50.
They do a lot.
Even though it's not finances, it's 50. I mean, if I'm a housewife, you don't expect me to bring money to the table. And if I'm a corporate lady, you don't expect me to do everything in the house. So like I said, it's a 50-50.
Okay.
You meet me halfway. But if I'm a corporate lady and you want me to do housework, at the same time, that is me giving more than 50.
All right. I think, when you come in, the right hair comes.
Yes, let me add this. I think we were talking about the sexual the sexual stuff. I think I have not been there, so I cannot vividly share an
Speak for the
experience
pastors,
exactly.
I know.
And so let me try and put myself in the shoes of the pastors. I think sexual life, as we've heard, is very pleasurable, and I think if it should be done very well. And when there is sexual gratification, I believe that there is a happy home. Because honestly, if there is no sexual gratification, and then what I hear, your wife will be staying at the back of the church and be insulting you when you are standing at the pulpit. In the Nimbi original. You have no idea. You have no idea. You think you are preaching good. You think, but there is a first ministry that I believe whatever everybody out there is doing, I mean, it's a ministry, it's a service to others. And when there is happiness in the home, when your wife is in full support of you, you flourish.
All right.
And one of them is sexual gratification. We cannot downplay that fact.
Okay.
Then we're talking about certain disadvantages. Let me end with this one. Familiarity. Familiarity. Those of us who are Christians out there, Jesus Christ was talking about familiarity, and it happens in marriages too, especially with those who are close to each other. Angela, you will agree with me that there are some married couples that right after the wedding day, they've not had again.
Yeah, I hear something about this.
The husband has not hugged the wife again. The day they finish the wedding and the pastor asks them hug, that is it. So familiarity has set in because the husband thinks that the wife is with him every day. But with a long distance relationship, any quality time you get, utilize it.
Yeah.
Because you know that once your wife is done with the 3 weeks flight back to London, once your wife is done back to Accra,
Yeah.
once your wife is done, and so there is a quality time and you
Yeah.
utilize the time.
Yeah.
And so familiarity has not set in such a relationship, which makes it very advantageous.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, as Christians, those of us who are not married, it's illegal for us to be engaging in sexual activities. But then those who are married, the Bible says that the married bed is not defiled. And at the same time, it said the man who cannot provide for his own household is worse than an infidel.
Yeah.
And then one of the provision is sex.
Yeah.
And it's not the man alone. I know that sex is for both parties do the work. It's not the man who does the work. So if the woman plays her part and the man also plays his part, then it brings about the quality sexual life, okay? Whereby the woman wakes up in the morning working and she's singing hallelujah.
Amen.
And then the woman not insulting the husband on the pulpit that maybe he has not done his work. So I think that quality sex in the context of marriage should be encouraged.
Thank you.
Okay.
Brother.
Yes. As I also end, I would like to say that in the context of Christianity, yes, when you are not married and you have sex, it's illegal. But when you are married, sex becomes a responsibility. It becomes part of your responsibilities as a marriage couple. Yes. So one thing you also have to know is that when you are married, sex plays just a small part, a minute part in the marriage life. But the absence of it
Can cause havoc.
Leads to all the big challenges in marriage.
That means it plays a major part.
No, when
Because
I say the minute part, what I'm trying to mean is,
You don't do it every day.
yes, you don't do it every day, and then there are more things to attend to.
Yeah, pressing issues.
Yes, there are pressing issues. So it's not like when you are far away or when you are not married, the way you see sex. When you marry, even sometimes the married couples out there can bear with me. Sometimes it becomes a burden. You see, your partner is demanding it, and you are not mentally ready. You are not in the mood. You see, yes. So when you are married, sex is not that always something you always want to do. But the absence of it also brings a lot of challenges in the marriage. So quality sex in marriage is very important.
Quality sex in marriage is important, and I also agree.
Yeah.
You are listening to Prime Testimony Channel. On this note, I want to say a very big thank you to Dennis, our counselor, Rakia, our sociologist Gifty, our public health manager, and Frank, the one and only one accountant. My name is Atul Brentishan. This is Prime Testimony Channel. So I'll meet with you again in my next video. Keep watching Prime Testimony. God bless you.